What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Debate. I'm your host, Howard Henley. As you can see, we have 4 people joining us. We have Mateen and Lauren to my left, and we also have Dre and Brittany to my right. Now, something that's been on the forefront, especially over the last couple of years, has been the rights of gays. Many people have actually compared gay rights to the Black Civil Rights Movement, which has some people agreeing and a lot of people disagreeing. So we want to see what our panel thinks. The discussion topic of the day: are gay rights the equivalent to the Black Civil Rights Movement? We're going to go and start off with Mateen. Mateen, what's your stance?
No, I don't think that they are the same. Gay rights is a civil rights, but it's not the same as Black civil rights, because there was never a point where there's straight bar only, gay bar only, where the straights and gays can't intermingle, like where it was white only water fountain and a black only water fountain. And last time I checked, there haven't been dogs sent after gay people. You know, gay people haven't had sit-ins where they had, you know, their names called and stuff dumped on their head. So I don't think it's the same.
Okay.
I'm going to say no. I don't think it's a civil right issue, because I don't think that homosexuals need to be a protected class of people. I don't think they need to be protected because we don't know if they're gay unless they tell us they're gay. African Americans need to be protected under the civil rights, because when we went in for a job interview or a bank loan or to own or rent a home, you knew when you saw me I was Black. You had no idea what my sexual orientation is. So I think the difference is what's making them that special group is something they do behind closed doors. So I don't think it should be a civil right.
Okay, thank you. Dre?
Absolutely. Anytime you take a specific group of people, no matter what it is, whether it's Black, whether it's religious, whether it's women, whether it's whatever, anytime you target a specific group of people and deny them rights that you afford to someone else, it's the same fight, and that's not cool.
Okay. Brittany?
I just think it's wrong to tell someone that they can't do something. I mean, Black people felt a certain way when they couldn't drink out of the water fountain. They couldn't, you know, you take that for granted now, that you can drink out of any water fountain that you want to. But you can't sit there and tell someone that they can't get married because they're two of the same sex. Like, that's not right at all. So I think it is a part of the civil rights movement.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it from our panel. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Debate. The topic of the day: are gay rights the same thing as a Black Civil Rights Movement? Mateen, what do you...
Well, when I said that, I don't think they're the same. I believe that gay people should have the right to do what they want to do. They should have the right to get married and be miserable like everybody else. They deserve that right. But I just don't think that the fight is the same, but the struggle is different. You know, it's the same fight, but it's different. Because Black people, because like she said, when we walked, we see that, you know, and we had years and years of oppression, you know. So with Jim Crow laws came in and said, you know, Black people can't go to school with white people. There's nothing out there about gay people can't go to school with straight people.
And if it was, you didn't have to let them know you were gay.
That's the only difference.
But that is a huge difference. And I just want to touch on the other thing about the marriage law particularly. We talk about discriminating against gays. The marriage law is discriminatory in nature. It also discriminates against age and also marital status. So if we were to make that a civil right for them to get married, let's just say for polygamists, well, we feel like we're a group that people are against us. We want to marry more than one person at one time, and we need special protection because of our beliefs. So let's make it a civil right that we can marry 4 people at once. You could do the same thing with age. You could say, I mean, it kind of opens the floodgates when you call it a civil right. And I'm with Mateen. I don't think that, I think they should be able to do anything they want to do. I just don't think it's the same as a civil right issue.
But you're saying the struggle is different. Like, you don't think that there's gay bashing, and you don't think people call people names for being gay. Like, some people can't help the way that they are. Like, they're born that way, that's what they are.
Besides the fact that you can hide it, tell me a difference.
No, because no one is getting...
Besides the fact that you can hide it.
But even now, if it's out in the open, you can go places and be gay and
She just said you can hide it, you just said it's out in the open.
But I'm saying you have that potential to hide it if you want to, but you have the potential to be...
That's different.
Nobody's hanging you because you whistle out a dude. Like every day, like Emmett Till.
You get beat up. I've seen people get beat up.
Have you seen pictures from the civil rights movement? That's not happening today. We're a different society.
During the Holocaust, some people could hide the fact that they were Jews, but once they found out, they still got killed for it.
How
can you not compare that?
I'm saying the Holocaust is a different struggle from now, because they're not killing 6 million gay people.
Just because it's a different reason for the struggle, but it's the same struggle.
But it's not the same consequences.
It's a different reason for the struggle, but it's the same struggle. If you're not getting the same rights because of something that you're born with or that you can't control, or that it's the same struggle just because it's a different context of it.
I'm all for gay rights, bro, but I'm saying it's not the same as the civil rights movement. I mean, we don't. It's
the
marching,
civil right.
but they're not sending. They're having gay marches right now, but they're not sending dogs and police.
Oh my God! What are you talking about, dude? Have you ever heard of Stonewall riots?
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not the same. Like
were they harassed gay bars? That's what they rioted about it. It's the same thing. It's the same struggle.
It's not.
Listen, I agree. I agree that gay guys or people, whatever, once they're like found out, like, you know, some people can be hateful and they can be mean. I am totally against anyone who's like going to hurt them or anything. And they're not being denied certain rights that African Americans were denied in the civil rights movement. We're talking about the right to get married, and we're saying, should that be a civil right? And all I'm saying is, if we're gonna, you know, make gay people, when it comes to marriage, a special protected group of people, that's what makes it now a civil right issue. We're not even arguing if it's right or wrong. We're saying, is it a civil right? If you do it with them, you can do it with, you can just totally break down what marriage actually even is and say, okay, you can now marry a 10-year-old. Because that's part of your right. Why not? Why not?
That's harmful to the 10-year-old.
No, but people believe that's their right. They're born that way.
I want to hear Brittany. What you have
If
to say.
they told you that to a black person and a white person could get married, you wouldn't be having the same.
They did.
It's illegal.
Yeah, right. And now it is legal. But if we were having this conversation and you said gay people can get married and black and white people can get married, then it would be a civil rights movement. You guys would feel different about it
because they're saying that their skin, though.
We're saying that someone can't do something that other people can.
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying it's not the same struggle.
You're just saying it's not the same struggle because it's so obvious to be black. But what about the black people who passed?
No, but I'm saying it's not the
black
same
people
struggle.
Back in the day, back when that was
they're
going on.
They're not telling gay people to get on the back of the bus every day.
Because it's a different.
They're not doing it. It's different. It's not the same struggle.
You can hide the fact that you're gay. It's the same struggle. It's just not the same issue. It's not the same reason for the struggle.
Exactly. That's why it's different.
I do want to take a really quick break, but before we do, we're going to go ahead and toss over to Siobhan Hughes, our social media friend, to see what you all have to say in the Twitter world. Go ahead, Siobhan, take it away.
Hello, everybody. It's Siobhan Hughes, your social media friend, bringing your tweets and your video responses to life. In response to today's topic on gay rights, @Ronnie Jr. Media says, in some ways, yes, it's a fight for equality. Love is the most important thing, and if two men or women find it, #let love live. @SuperProducer114 says, in regards to gay marriage and civil rights, I believe it's every human's right to love whomever and benefit equally. Let's check out our video that Tunson sent us with his thoughts.
Hey everybody, my name is Tunson. No, I don't feel that the gay rights movement is the same thing as black rights. Well, the difference is, you know, over time, we went through a lot more stuff than actual gay people did. You know, I understand that, you know, there should be equality for all, but don't compare the two. They're totally different. I mean, it's not fair for anyone to be mistreated or judged just based off their sexual orientation, skin color, anything like that. But at the same time, you can't compare the two.
If you have something to say, let us know. You can send us your thoughts on Twitter @The Debate TV Show, or send us an email with your video responses to thedebatetvshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the debate. I'm Howard Henley. As you can see, we have our panelists. They are divided right now. The topic of the day is, are gay rights the equivalent to the black civil rights movement? Dre, I'm going to go ahead and pick up with you.
Okay, I was just thinking, the whole issue I have about the gay marriage thing is that there's a reason why church and state are separated. If someone says that they can't get married for whatever reason, the biggest reason I hear is about the Bible. But the Bible is what some people believe. Not everyone believes the same thing. So just because you believe one thing doesn't mean that someone else will believe the same thing. That's why we need to keep the things completely separate. Because once you let the Bible influence the law, then you're forcing your beliefs on the other people. And that's wrong.
Okay.
But this is not an issue of if gay marriage, this is not a gay marriage issue. This is an issue if the gay rights movement and the civil rights movement are the same. They're not the same. If I cut off your hand and I cut off your foot, that's two different things. They're going to affect you differently. All right. But the thing about it, from my opinion, I just, you know, I'm a big component of knowing where you came from, knowing your history. And as a black man, you know, and seeing how my people were persecuted hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, you know, in the history of it, and just 60 years ago, it was illegal, like you said, for a black man and a white man to get married. A black man and a white woman. That's still illegal. I mean, exactly. But, well, that's a different issue, interracial dating in the gay community. But I just don't think that I just don't think that it's the same just because I see how, our people were persecuted. And I mean, we have evolved as humans in general, and that's why I don't think it's the same because, the way that we saw life 50 years ago, 500 years ago, is not the same as we see it now because people was walking in saloons and just shooting people because they had no regard for human life. I'm just saying we have evolved as people, so no way that these two issues can be the same in my eyes.
I feel like I hear you saying that gay people have to pay their dues in order for this issue to be seen differently because black people, I agree that we were wronged, like it was horrible, but that doesn't take away from you're taking away someone's right to do something. And just because the gays haven't been fighting for that right for hundreds and hundreds of years, it doesn't mean that it's any less of a right to have.
But
I'm not taking away their rights. I'm just saying it's not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same fight.
Yeah, I just think
a heavyweight fight is not the same as
you have to understand the history
fight.
of it. And the history of it is when you talk about civil rights and gay rights. We didn't go to a country where everyone was gay and let's take them and make them our slaves. And then that began the suppression that went on. Have they been discriminated against? Absolutely. Yes. But it's very different. And it's on I think a much smaller scale. Because the black discrimination was like, you couldn't do anything or everything was horrible. This is an issue of marriage. And yes, there's some unfair treatment. There's some bullying going on in schools. And those are real issues because no one deserves to be, hurt, bullied, killed, beat up, whatever. They don't deserve that. But what I'm saying is I think it's a very different
What about
issue.
Women's rights?
What about women's rights?
Do you think that's the same?
It's a civil right, yes, because when I walk in a room, I'm a woman. So you don't give me the job because I'm a woman. If I walk in the room, you don't know if I'm gay or not.
But there's some gay people that walk in a room and they're gay.
Right.
What about them?
And they're not going to tell them you didn't get the job because you were gay. They're just going to, you're maybe.
But they can go wherever they want to go, and they can walk wherever they want to walk.
Not necessarily.
Black people couldn't walk wherever they wanted to walk in 1960.
A really flamboyant gay person back then cannot walk wherever they want to walk. But I'm saying they can go wherever
they want to walk right now. I'm talking about right now. The gay rights movement is is happening right now. The civil rights movement happened in the 60s.
Well, that's hard to compare.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not taking away the gay people's right. Wrong is wrong. Discrimination is wrong. What I'm saying is, what the debate is it the same? No, it's not the same.
I think it's so many different similarities.
Apples and oranges.
What I want to go ahead and do now, because
they taste different.
What I want to go ahead and do now is, because we have to wrap up, but I want to get everybody's final thoughts, okay? But Mateen, what's your final thoughts on that?
Like I said, I think that discriminating against anybody is wrong. I am all for gay rights. They should be able to do whatever they want to do. But I just don't feel in my heart that it's the same struggle that my ancestors had to go through. And they had, they were murdered, they were hung, like all that stuff. Like they couldn't do stuff. They couldn't sit on the bus. They had to go to the back. I mean, I'm very passionate about it. So that's why, I love this topic, but I just don't think it's the same.
Okay, Lauren?
I agree with Mateen. I think that gay people are amazing, and I love everyone, and I think everyone deserves to live their life, in a way that's happy and safe and fulfilled. But at the same time, I don't think it's a civil right. I think in order to make it a civil right, we're protecting them as a class of people for doing something. The only thing that makes them different is how they have sex. That's something they do behind closed doors that we should never see and don't have to know. I think if you open up that, then you have to open up, okay, can everyone get married to 4 people at once? Can you get married to a kid? Like you can, once you start breaking that down and trying to call it a civil right, people can break down other things and make themselves in a group and say, okay, this has to be a civil right. And so I think they can get married, that's fine, but I don't think it's a civil rights issue.
Okay, thank you very much. Dre?
Okay, caught me off guard. I just feel like, obviously the specifics are different because one thing you can hide, one thing you can't, most people can't. But, at the end of the day, if you're taking rights away from someone, then you're taking rights away from someone. There's a specific identified class of people within our society. They're identified, they're a class of people, and they don't have the same rights. That is the exact same issue. And you could call it different. You can say it's because of this, it's because of that. But at the end of the day, if you're treating them differently than them just because of who they are, then it's all wrong. It's all the same.
Gotcha. Thank you, Brittany.
I feel like their struggles are similar, very similar. They can't go certain places without being looked at a certain way or treated a certain way. And I feel like it's because, they want to get married. So when you take that right away from somebody who's, a law-abiding citizen, hopefully, and you tell them they can't do something, it's wrong. Just like you told black people you couldn't sit there, you can't drink, that's wrong. It's wrong to tell someone they cannot do something.
Okay, thank you. And thank you very much to my panel for joining me today. All right, so you heard from them, but if you have a opinion on this issue, please send us a tweet at The Debate TV Show on Twitter. You can also send us an email with your video response to thedebatetevshow@gmail.com. We'll see you next time.